Hello, caregiver. Thanks for checking out today's video. This is the short wrap up of our CAREthartic conversation. And today was a little unusual. I didn't use my PowerPoint, and we sort of just free-willed it, if you will, and talked a lot about how you find joy in your day and things like that. And what I realized as we were talking is if you're in the middle of caregiving, it can be hard to stop and find little pieces of joy throughout your day. And also, one of the reasons I think that could be is that you are having difficulty separating the person that you're caring for, who they are today, versus who they were as a person that you've always known. If you're caring for someone who has a dementia or a severe illness, those things can change who that person is and how they interact with you. And while there are a lot of educational information out there on YouTube, on podcasts. You can sign up for education on how to interact with someone, say, with dementia, how to speak to them, how to try not to engage a negative response. The challenge with those things, sorry, wrong language, but the thing about that is that while you are learning how to communicate with them differently and how to interact with them differently, you're not really learning how to handle your emotions around that. Have you grieved the loss of the person that you had that relationship with? For instance, in my case with my mom, after her stroke, she could no longer talk. And so she was always my strong person in my life. She was the person that I went to for all of my advice. And granted, sometimes I didn't listen to her advice and sometimes I didn't like what she had to say, but she was still the person that I went to for that information. And through that caregiving journey, I never took the time to recognize that our relationship had changed. And so I never mourned the loss of who she was in order to help me manage my emotions around who she is now. So another example would be if you're caring for someone who has dementia and that person, say, responds in angry tones to you about things you're trying to get them to do or something you might tell them. It could be something as simple as they want you to close the door and the door already is closed, but they're not recognizing that and they turn around and take that out on you. If this person has always been patient and loving and kind to you, and then they're reacting to you in mean, maybe yelling at you or tones or that are harsh or calling you names, there are techniques definitely in how to diffuse that situation, but those techniques don't teach you how to emotionally handle that reaction from someone who's never reacted that way to you. So today we talked a little bit about some writing techniques that you can use, and I'm going to share those with you. First thing first, I think it's really important that you grieve the loss of the person that you're caring for, of that, not them themselves, but that relationship, the person who they were before the disease kind of took them away. And so one really great technique in order to do that is write them a letter, an unsent letter, starting with something like, dear Mom, I wanted you to know, or dear husband, this is how I feel when I hear you speaking to me this way. I really miss our old relationship. something like that. That can help you transition from the person that they used to be to who they are today, and it can help you manage a lot of the emotion around that. I want you to, if this is a technique that resonates with you, set a timer and write for somewhere between 5 and 7 minutes. And when that timer goes off, I want you to read what you wrote and then write for another 2 or 3 minutes, just saying, reading this, I realize, or reading this, I'm surprised by, or I understand, or reading this, I feel. Okay? And you're only going to write that for about 2 more minutes. But that first write will help you get out the emotion and the struggle that you're dealing with. And the second write will give you an awareness about why you're feeling that way or how you're actually feeling. Another really good one to do is to write a character sketch about that person and your interactions and how they're interacting with you now in relation to how they used to interact with you. And so you might start that character sketch with something like, from the time you get up every day, this is what I see. Okay. And then you write about that person, about how they speak to you, their actions, what you hear, the tone of their voice, all of those kind of things. Try to write from all of your senses. And then again, set a timer. Don't write any longer than 10 minutes. Read what you wrote and then write again, starting with reading this, I understand, or reading this, I feel. These are 2 really good exercises that will help you separate from who that person was to who the person is today. And the reason that is so important is because it's hard to interact with someone when you're expecting them to react a certain way, when you're expecting them to speak to you in certain tones, the way they always have, right? That's natural. Of course you would expect that. But when something different comes at you, of course, again, natural reaction is to be hurt, to be sad, to be angry. And sometimes in that anger, we respond back, not necessarily in the most positive way. So in order to move forward and use some of those techniques of changing how you talk to them, changing how you react to them, first you have to say goodbye to the person who was and begin to deal with them as the person that they are now. So I hope that makes sense for you. And if you have any questions or if you'd like to learn more about other writing techniques, feel free to reach out to me. You can check out my website, which is www.carepartnersresource.com, or email me at Lori, Lori, at carepartnersresource.com. Also, my Facebook page, Care Partners Resource and Consulting, has a lot of different writing techniques and prompts there for you to look at. And of course, my YouTube channel, Care Partners Resource and Consulting. So those are all several different places for you to go to get ideas about some therapeutic journal writing techniques and ways to manage some of the emotions that you are probably feeling around the whole caregiving journey. I hope this has been helpful for you, and I look forward to reading your comments about this post or any of my other posts on my YouTube page and my Facebook page. And until you reach out again, or until you watch another video, please take good care and be kind to yourself. Okay, have a great day.